Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So we're going to start a new series today, and today's video is going to be the first in probably a four-part series where we talk about how to pick a stock to buy on the stock market. That's usually the question that most people have as soon as they get over their fear of investing in the stock market, is how to find that stock that they want to purchase. So this series is going to be based on the value investing method, which is made famous by Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. And if you don't know who those two people are, then I highly recommend that you Google search them and learn all you can about them, because they are the most famous investors and probably the most successful investors in the stock market. So today's video in particular is going to be on what's referred to as the circle of competence, and let's get right into it. Okay, so the best way to understand what the circle of competence is by using a diagram. So let's put one up on the screen. So here's a circle of competence diagram as it relates to the stock market. The largest circle there represents all publicly traded companies. The middle circle, which is a subset of the biggest circle, represents all the companies that you're familiar with. And the smallest circle, which is a subset of the middle circle, represents all the companies that you truly understand. And the middle circle is also your circle of competence. So hopefully this diagram makes sense to you. The point I'm trying to make is that the companies that you really understand are actually just a small subset of the companies that you're familiar with overall. So you may be wondering what I mean by truly understanding a company, and I think that's best explained by using an example to drive the point home. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I love to use Apple as an example, and the reason for that is most people are at least aware of Apple and vaguely understand what they do. So I'm going to continue to use Apple as an example in this case, and what we can do is ask a few questions to see if we truly understand what Apple is all about. Some of those questions might be, who are Apple's competitors in the market? And I'm not just talking about competitors for iPhone, but for all their products, such as AirPods, iPad, HomePod, and maybe even their services like Apple Music, iCloud, and the new video streaming service that they're launching later this year. Another question might be, what advantages or disadvantages does Apple have over their competitors? Another question might be, do you actually use their products, and do you understand them intimately and how they compare to the competitors' products? Another question might be, do you understand the questions to ask about how their products and services will change in the future and how that will affect their overall profitability? Do you understand their manufacturing methods and how much profit they make per unit that they sell, and how the location that they're manufactured in might affect it? Like, for instance, Apple is manufacturing their products in China for the most part. You may want to know how that affects selling in the United States when they import them back into the United States and pay tariffs on it, and so on and so forth. So you can see that actually understanding a company is very different from just being familiar with it. And most people, when they first get into stock market investing, will simply select a company that they're familiar with and not one that they really understand in their circle of competence. And that can be a big mistake. Having the deep knowledge on a company actually gives you a lot more confidence in your investment, and ultimately will determine whether that investment is successful or not in the future. So for the most part, all the information you're going to need to research a company is going to be available on the internet via a Google search. And if you think that sounds really boring and tedious, to that I would say research companies that you're really passionate about. So if you're really passionate about a subject, let's say golf, then you may want to research companies that make your favorite golfing products. If you're really into yoga, maybe you want to research a company that makes your favorite yoga products. And by researching companies that you're passionate about, you're more likely to do more thorough research, and you're more likely to enjoy the researching process. Some of the added benefits of researching companies that you're passionate about is when you purchase their stock, you're also going to be less likely to sell the stock in the event of a sudden short-term change in the stock price, and you're also going to just frankly enjoy investing a lot more. So hopefully this gave you a nice little introduction here to how to pick a stock. We're going to have 3 more parts to this series, and hopefully by the end of it you'll have a good set of guidelines on kind of what you need to do in order to pick a stock. So we'll see you in the next video.